Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is part 4 in our Power Apps for Project Management series of tutorials, and today we are going to build Power Automate flow to automate our process. Let's get started. In our last 3 episodes, we basically built simple Power Apps for our project management use case. In this tutorial, we will use Power Automate to automate task assignment process. So basically, whenever project manager comes here and fills out the form and clicks submit, this will trigger email to the team member with the task details. So let's try it now. I will add a simple task. I just filled out the form, and whenever I click submit, if I come to Power Automate now, what we see, it shows that our flow runs successfully. And if I open up my Outlook, here's the email that I just received. And if I open it up, what I see, subject line, assigned team member. I just assigned it to myself, but this can be any other team member. And a text explaining the details. And you can see the nice table capturing the key information from our task. And I also embedded a link here. When the team member clicks, this will take them to the Power Apps. And let's take a look at our flow here, and then we can start building it from scratch. So here we have the first action when an item is created. This is connected to my SharePoint site and list. Second action is basically a data operation called create HTML table, and it basically takes the body of our first action and then put it inside a table. And here I customize a little bit, because otherwise create HTML table will pull all the columns from our SharePoint list. So we don't want that. That's why I customized. The third action is another data operation called compose, and here I'm using CSS styling and outputs from my create HTML table. Basically, compose action here helps to design or style our HTML table. And at the end, I have a send an email action. So if we look at here, what we see, who receives the email, this is a dynamic value. So this sends the email to the person that just assigned to a task. And the subject line, I just add the text, and I added another dynamic value, which is task ID. And then here I have name of the assigned person, just text explaining see the details below, and outputs of our compose action. And finally, I added or embedded our Power Apps link here. So when the team member can click, and it will take them to the application. We could do more here. We could create, for example, deep linking, but that's going to be a future session. So let's go ahead and build this flow from scratch. Before we create our Power Automate flow, let's see where we are supposed to create our flows, applications, and etc. If you recall from our first episode, I mentioned that whenever you build your application flows, you should start from solutions. It's really tempting to come here and click create and click application. If you are learning, I would say that's fine. But if you are building an application for the deployment purposes, so that you or your team members can use, then always go with solutions. Solutions are basically a container that includes all of your apps, flows, tables, etc. for related business process. And if you decide to implement application lifecycle management, which is very important, then solutions are way to go. And basically, using solutions, you can build your application flows in development environment and transfer them to test environment, and then finally transfer them to production. Another benefit of solution is it basically organizes your work. Think of solutions like a folder on your computer where you keep all related files. It helps you keep things tidy and find what you need faster. I would recommend Sean's video on YouTube. I will provide that details in the description. If you want to learn more about solutions, he explains really very well. So go ahead and watch that. And I think it will clear so many questions in your mind, because even in my early careers, I was just thinking about why I need to create solutions. Creating application from here, it's way easier than solutions. But later I learned that no, we should always use solutions. So, and creating solutions, it's not hard. All I need to come here, go ahead and click new solution, name my solution. So you can go ahead and create a new publisher. All you need to click, give it display name, then add description if you want, and the prefix. This can be first 2 letters of your solution, and this will help you identify the objects. But I already have publisher. I will go ahead and use my publisher and click create. So this is where we are going to build our own applications, flows, tables, etc. So we already built our Canvas app. What I will do, I will bring that application here. Ideally, again, when you start with the solution and you start building applications from here. But since we have Canvas app, I will just click Canvas app and I will look for project management app, select and click add. Here we go. Now we have application here. To build a flow, what we will do, we will come here, click new, and here we have automation. We will use Cloudflow and automated. Click. I will skip. I will look for when an item is created. The first one. Select that. From here, I will select my site address, and this name I will choose the list that we use as a data source. I typically add multiple steps after when an item is created before send an email, but my friend Katie Lux has better idea. She recommends that we go straight forward and add a step sending an email. So, and I will do that. Click a new step, and here let's look for send an email, and we will use send an email v2. Who needs to receive this email? We basically want a team member receive a new task assignment details. So I will look for dynamic value, click add dynamic content, and from here I will look for assign to email, because it is a person type and we can use email. And the subject line, we can specify new task assignment, and we can add another dynamic content here saying, for example, ID. And for the body part, we can specify hi. We can look for team member, this time assigned to display name, and we can specify details of the task. For example, we can specify here title. We can come here, say title. We can come here, say due date. Due date. And if you want, you can add more information, but let's test our solution first. What I will do, I will rename this, click save. Now we can go ahead and test our flow. It's always recommended when you complete each step, just test it to validate that it works. So I will go ahead and test. So first time we will do it manually, click test. So to test, we need to add another task in our project management application. Come here, click new task. Just submit it. And we just received an email saying task assignment. And these are the task details. And notice we need to change something here. For example, date format is different. We can easily fix it. And if we look at here, this green check marks, it shows that our flow ran successful. If something wrong, we will get the red sign here showing that flow failed. So I will right now close this, come back here. You can see it's already added here. So if you click all, you will see all the components of your solution. But if you go to apps, this will specifically show the app that you have. And if you click cloud flows, this will show the flows that we have. Right now, we don't have any Dataverse table. That's why it doesn't show up here. So I would like to use a new designer in Power Automate. So what I will do, I will open a new window and go to make.powerautomate.com, click enter. Now, if I come to my flows, you can see that our flow added here. So I will go ahead and do my customization from here. Click edit, and this opens up a new designer. That's where I will go ahead and do customization. So I will extend the send an email, and as we saw in the email, our due date format was different. I will click exit, and here, instead of this dynamic value, I will use expression. So I will click this, and I will start with the format, date and time, and open parentheses. And inside this parenthesis, I will add dynamic content, which is due date. And then I will format the date. So I will click comma, single quote, and between single quote, I will say months, day, and 4 letters for year, and click add. So I will click save, and if we test this time, we don't need to use manually again because we have last flow. So I will use automatically and click with a recently used trigger, and I will choose this and click test. Our flow ran successfully. If I come back here, now you see our due date column just updated. So, but what I want here actually, we want to send an email with a task detail in HTML or table format. And that's visually more appealing, I think. I prefer that way. If using this is enough for you, that's fine. So what I will do, after when an item is created, I will add another action and look for create HTML table. That's a data operation. Click add. I will extend create HTML table. And here, if we look at dynamic value, we don't see dynamic value. So what I will do instead, I will use expression. I will type trigger outputs question mark, open square bracket, single quote, and type body, and click add. And then I will add square bracket to the end, and I will come to the beginning, and I will add another square bracket. Click save. So now you see that you get the body from the when an item is created. Basically, HTML table will take our when an item is created action and put it inside the table. That's going to be a plain table, but we will use CSS or cascading style sheets to style it. So there is another part here. If you look at advanced parameters, I will click columns. This opens up a new filter action here. I will choose columns and then custom. Why custom? Because we have so many columns in our SharePoint list, and there are some standard columns that comes with SharePoint list, for example, created by, modified by, and so on. We don't want to see them, right? So click custom, and here I will add dynamic values. I will click ID, then come here, click ID. I will add title, then come here, click title. You can add how many columns you want, but I would recommend add just bite-sized information. The whole point of email is just to provide just enough information to a team member that, hey, you just assigned to a new task, and go to the app and check your new assignment. And these are the task information. So we don't want to just add all the information to the email. Otherwise, what's the purpose of application? So title, we can say assigned to, and we have assigned to. By the way, if you don't see the information or column that we are looking here, you can click see more, and this will open up all the column information, or you can simply search here. Assigned to is a person data type. I will choose assigned to display name. We can add due date. Again, dynamic value. And maybe we can add another column saying assigned by. And SharePoint has a standard column called created by, so the team member can see that it was assigned by whom. Created by display name. So what I will do, I will click save and come to send an email. And here actually I will look for dynamic value, and I will add my output from create HTML table here. Click save and test. Again, automatically with a recent use trigger, and this one, click test. Your flow runs successfully. You can see the parameters here and outputs and so on. If we come back here, if I click, if you look at here, what we see that it's table format, but it doesn't have borders. As I explained, when you add create HTML table, it creates the plain table. We can use another action to style our table with borders, with background color, and so on. So what I will do, I will come to our Power Automate. After create HTML table, I will add another action, and I will use compose data operation. So here I can add CSS code. So what I will do, there are a lot of information on the internet if you are looking for, but I will simply go to copilot.microsoft.com and ask Copilot to create that code for me. I will say, create a CSS style for my Power Automate flow. Oh, maybe we can add HTML table in my Power Automate flow. Click send. We don't need that information. I will stop creating, and I will come here, copy this, come back to our flow and paste it here, and you can see the code here. And after style, I will click enter, and I will bring our HTML output here, and then I will go to send an email. I will delete this output and bring output from our compose. Click save and test. So let's check out our email. And as you can see, this is the table format. It nicely created for us. So what we can do actually, if you want, we can change the color in our CSS code. If we come back here, click edit. For example, if we look at our email, this is aligned to left. What we can do, we can come here, text align, we can say to center, and you can also edit the padding, edit the background color, anything you want. So I will click save, test it again. So let's visit again. So as you can see, this is aligned our headers to center. So what I will do now, we see the due date format, it's still not we want it. So I will come back here, click edit, go to create HTML table, due date, exit or delete, and click expression, format date and time, open parentheses, inside that click dynamic content, look for due date, and here the same way we will say comma, single quote, between single quotes, add our data format, click add, save. By the way, I think we don't need the extra information here. So what I will do, I will simply come here, delete this part, and maybe we can say, please see the task details below. Again, for the task details, you can add any column you want. You can add, for example, start date, duration, or anything you want. After that, actually, I will add another text. I will say go to app, and this is our app. I will click details. I will copy this, come back to Power Automate, select this, go to link, and here edit. So make sure that you delete HTTPC, because the code that we copied, it comes with that. So click enter. Now you see that it's it changed the color. If I click save and click test, transfer flow. If I open it up, now you can see it just sends a nice email with the just enough information in a table format the team member can see, and if they click, this will take them to Power Apps. You can take this to another level, adding deep linking, but we can cover that later. So that's it for today. I hope this was helpful. We can build so many flows using Power Automate. This is just a simple use case we had. In the future, we will have more advanced use cases. For example, when the task details modified, send an email, show the change, both the version, last version and the new version. So I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, give thumbs up. If you have any comments, thoughts, please leave them in the comment section and I will get back to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.